What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the It's Game Time podcast. This is episode number 34, and we are back on Zoom. As always, I'm with my co-host, Eric. Eric, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. We're here. 34, the Walter Payton episode. Last week was the 33 Alonzo Mourning episode, but I'm doing good. I'm in the holiday spirit. I mean, my grandparents come in today while we're recording this on a Thursday morning.
Right.
So we're pretty much right on top of it this time.
Yes.
Gonna go right into the editing booth right after this.
Nice. No, that's what I like to hear. I'm gonna definitely take my time to edit my portion because I don't have as many obligations as you, I guess, today. But yeah, it's obviously we're on Zoom, so we're not in person for the near future, but we are both on break, and I think we are both enjoying our time off, and we're excited that we're able to continue the podcast though.
Yes, I have just been relaxing since getting here.
Yeah. Until
I'll probably pick stuff back up when I go back down to Tampa next week, but for now, I'm just relaxing, acting all cool, chillaxing right after school. But I'm interested in seeing what happened with the Instagram pics.
Yeah, so it's getting pretty interesting every week because it's sort of, there's a similar theme that it's the same, like, couple people near the top, and this past week was actually very interesting because obviously at the end of all of our Instagram polls we have a tiebreaker question based off of how many points you think a specific Monday Night Football team is going to score. But this week was different because the two top finishers also had the same tiebreaker score, and obviously I didn't plan for that to ever happen, so I never came up with a second tiebreaker question. But going forward, I'll definitely think of something so we don't run into that issue again. But the two winners for this week for the Instagram polls are Jaden Hoffman, who has won for a record fourth time, and myself too, by the way, second time. So
let's focus on Jaden.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Jaden's been. I wonder if he's gone to Vegas because he's been getting really, really good with these picks. So
do you know how many he got wrong this week?
He got 4 wrong.
Oh my god! Out of 14, correct?
Yeah, and by the way, you also got 4 wrong. You missed on the tiebreaker. It was me and him that had the same tiebreaker score of 23 points.
I forgot what I put. I feel like I put someone in the 20s.
You put 27.
Oh my gosh, I was 4 points off.
Yeah.
Oh my, that is brutal. I would have won for the first week. But
what's funny is it was a 5-way tie for first, but it just came down to Jaden and I because we had the closer tiebreaker. So.
Oh my god. Oh, that's
yeah. So you don't have your picture yet posted on one of our Instagram stories yet about winning the Pick'em challenge, but hopefully
I'm a little nervous about what type of picture would be posted of me. I
would have to go digging for a picture of you. Yeah.
And I would be worried about that.
Yeah.
But wow, man, Jaden, you definitely you need to just go to Vegas. I feel like
God, I'm gonna start running out of Built Bars because all of them are just gonna be going to him. I might
just send them a package.
I might as well. Yeah, I owe him because I haven't seen him since he's won 3 other times since I last gave him that first Built Bar. So I owe him 3, and then I owe myself 1. So
oh my gosh, I mean that's 4 times. Oh gosh, we need to break that streak now. Someone has to compete with him.
I mean, we're still as always, we appreciate all the participation every week. We had some new faces join the Instagram polls this week, and we have a lot of same faces each and every week, so we really appreciate the engagement, and keep voting because we love to see who everyone thinks is going to win.
Speaking of engagement, our boy Tommy that was on last week, he's been very engaged on Twitter.
Yes, and TikTok. He's been very active. Yeah, he's been he's been firing away, bunch of lists on like, power rankings and top second year, third year players. He's been trying to make a name for himself. And while we probably disagree with a lot of his takes, I mean, he has some good points. Obviously, he's been riding high ever since that big Colts win against the Pats last Saturday. So
Oh yeah, very very big, very like putting it down on the table, making your claim to be a top competitor in the AFC with the Colts. But I would argue for the Pats, even bigger game this week.
oh yeah. I mean, the Bills want revenge badly. I mean,
Let's
it's
go
not.
for another 45 mile an hour winds. I like to see a Belichick game.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Patriots are too smart of a team to like they know exactly what they're going to be expecting from the Bills. I mean, obviously they did not look great against the Colts, but I don't think they'll have two back-to-back poorly executed game plans. Tom was actually very close that they were going to win by 2 touchdowns. They won by 10. So yeah, I mean, I don't think the Patriots are now going to come out of the AFC. I don't know where you stand on that, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yes, yeah. Now we need to figure out. I need to hear how my strategy worked this past week with our picks against the spread. So I let's see if I'm still floating above
Yeah.
500.
So first, I'll let everyone know what Tommy's record was because obviously he was the first guest to participate in the Pick'em challenge. He finished with a record of 10-6.
Wow.
Yeah, so very very strong showing. Obviously, he expected to go 14-2, like he said he was going to go on the podcast, but obviously that didn't happen. But a very very respectable performance from his first time picking games.
Absolutely. All right. What was yours? What was yours?
Okay, we'll go to mine. So
Save the
I
best for
also I
last.
also I also finished with a record of 10-6.
Oh man.
Tiny Tommy. Pretty good showing for me. I think Eric can kind of figure out where his record is probably
Oh
sitting
boy.
around. But
Oh,
so
tough competition.
yeah, Eric, you finished with a record of 6-10.
Well, you know what? What's my overall record? We have two records that we're keeping
Yeah.
track of. What's the
So
overall record?
so the overall record, you sit at 86 and 117.
I'm inching closer.
Inching closer. I'm
What's 30 games
104.
back?
I'm 1-4. I'm 1-4 and 101.
Okay.
So
I'm
yeah.
cracking that 30 mark.
I mean, we're going into week 16. You want to just crown me the champion already, or what's
Now let's hear about when I implemented the new strategy. I need to know that record.
well, I'm ahead of you too. I by game.
By a game?
I'm 37 and 38. You are 36 and 39.
Oh, okay. Last week really was a doozy.
Yeah,
Man,
so
really-
you were ahead of me going into last week based off the new strategy. But
all right, new strategy. Still sticking with it. All right, maybe next season.
I mean,
I'll
think about it. Like
put it
the week prior to starting that new strategy, you went 2-10. You haven't had as bad as a week as that week back in week 10. So
I mean, this is my worst week with this strategy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I
I mean, you are on a downward trend, like Maya was saying. Once you're at the top, you're just gonna start falling. So
I'm not. Don't worry. I hit bottom. Now I'm back up.
all right,
After this week, I'm telling you. But before we get to this week's picks, I want to talk about the fantasy playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, I'll give everyone a little rundown of where we stand right now as we move into the second round of the It's Game Time Fantasy Football League. So in the matchup between Connor Malloy and the real Slim Brady, Austin Geller, it was a extremely close game. But Connor, it was a half a point, almost a half a point difference. Connor edged out Austin in this matchup. So now Connor goes on to face Eric in the 1-5 matchup. But over on the other side of the bracket, we had our first upset. I guess you consider Connor an upset too, but this was even a bigger upset. Big Truz, Connor P pulled off the upset against Tommy. I mean, he had some big performances from Mark Andrews, Christian Kirk, Jeff Wilson. Thomas' team just did not show up. So now Connor P.
That was a big like I just the that was a trend across the entire fantasy
Yes,
landscape. It was
yes,
a huge down week. I mean, my other league I got completely screwed over. I
yeah,
mean, I had an awful performance last week, but even in this league though, Lindsay only scored 93 points. And reminder, this is a double flex league.
yeah. It was very low scoring week. Not ideal for teams that look really great on paper that just did not perform when we needed them most. Obviously, it's very unfortunate, but Connor P, he's walking into the second round a little bit hobbled because he's going to be missing two key guys now with Chris Godwin out for the year and Leonard Fournette most likely not being able to play. So he will definitely have his hands filled going up against Lindsay in the semifinals, along with Connor and Eric facing off on the other side of the bracket to find out who will be in the championship next week.
Yeah, I'm what I'm just worried about is that Eckler's out with COVID right now. He still has a chance to play this week. Tyreek Hill is out with COVID at the
Yeah.
moment. So it's just I mean, I have St. Brown. He's
Yes.
been showing up these past few weeks. I'd probably start him. And then if I had to also start another receiver, maybe Jarvis Landry or Devontae Parker. But I also just picked up this morning in the league Justin Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So if Eckler goes out, I mean, watching the Chiefs Chargers game, they were strongly doing running back by committee.
Yeah.
They were doing it to the point where they were letting Justin Jackson and who's the third
Joshua Kelly.
Yeah. They were splitting reps when they were in the red zone.
Yeah.
Like 5 yards away, and they weren't even bringing Eckler in, which I thought not even just personally, I thought that was just crazy because
it was stupid. Yeah, it was stupid. I think the main reason for that was that he was coming off that injury, but even if he was not fully healthy, it's important to bring him in on the most important situations and having the ball on the 1 yard line when he just needs to knock it in. Eckler's the best chance to do that. Obviously, Josh Kelly ended up fumbling, so hopefully they learned their lesson. So
I mean, the Chargers had many trips into the red zone, and they just did not capitalize. They went for it on fourth down, I think twice, and didn't get it. They would have won that. That's the thing. 2020 hindsight. I like the aggressive play calling, but when it doesn't work, like the first time, you would expect for them, like they going into half, they could have just taken the field goal, but they decided to go a last second shot, and that field goal was the difference of the game.
Yeah, I mean, being aggressive is good until you reach a certain point. Obviously, if they weren't have gone for it on some of those occasions, it would have been a totally different outcome. I get, you're going up against this high-powered offense. You want to score as many points as possible, but yeah, I mean, looking back on it, obviously you can, say he should have made this decision or whatnot. But I like being aggressive. Obviously, we've seen a lot of coaches, especially Connor P's Ravens, being ultra aggressive on certain situations, and obviously it hasn't worked out in the majority of time. But sometimes it pays off to be aggressive. Obviously, it didn't pay off in these situations.
Kelsey finally had his iconic game of the year.
While I'm sitting in the consolation bracket, yeah.
I'm just saying that. I mean, I know you have him in another league, but
yeah,
almost 200 receiving yards.
I know. Yeah, he was due. I mean, he was due for that big of a game, so it was about time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tyreek Hill had a game of himself.
They were both due. But yeah, they were both due for a big game.
They were definitely due. Mahomes did not look good in the first half.
No.
Hell, even the first 3 quarters, and then he just flips the switch and just goes off.
He had that one play. It was at the 2 yard line. He just did not get a good grip on the ball. The one to Nicole Hardman, it looked like he was Daniel Jones out there.
Oh, whoa. Maybe you could say that if he were to trip, but let's not say just arid throws into the ground looking like he's spiking the ball. There were a few throws by Mahomes. I remember one to Kelsey that was really low, and Kelsey couldn't get his hands on it. There were a few misplaced balls by him, but I mean, Herbert, he had a pretty good game, I thought.
He did. I mean, he's the number 2 fantasy quarterback right now, which is unbelievable. So looking back on it, I know you were a little skeptical about taking him when you did in the draft, but it looks like it's definitely paying off now.
Yeah. Just looking at his game log, he's only like at the beginning of the season before his bye, he was on and off. I mean, it was 13, 14, 30, 21, 42, then 11, and then 13, back up to 31, then 12, then 34, then 19, 25, 24, 23. For me, it's just if you get me 23 to 25, that's all. I'll trade that off for a few 30-point games and exclude these games in the teens. But I'm really happy with what he's done so far. That at the beginning of the season, that Herbert Eckler connection was really strong, and it just hasn't. I think that Eckler's injury may have done something with it, but like receiving wise, it just has not been there the past few weeks. I mean, getting only 4, 4, and 5 targets, but before that, he was getting around 7 to 10 targets, 7 to 9 targets. So I would like to see that receiving combination come back, but with Eckler now having COVID, so maybe some fatigue will be setting in, possibly depending on how serious the virus is for him. But also a guy who did not show out. My guy Patterson just did not have a good week.
No,
it was very disappointing. Even when the Falcons do bad, usually Patterson has himself a decent week, and it didn't. I'm a little skeptical now.
I mean, I'm wondering if it's a little bit of wear and tear because obviously never in his career has he handled this big of a workload. Even though it's not like a huge workload, it's more than he's accustomed to dealing with. I mean, it was a tough matchup against the 49ers last week. I think he should have a much better game this week against the Lions. I think you'll be happy with 12 to 15 points. I thought at least at this point.
Exactly. Just getting 4 last week is just not. For him, I just need him to be in the teens.
Right.
That's it. Hawkinson for my team went out though. That hurts.
You also, and then Pat Freiermuth, you have him in your lineup right now. He is questionable. He did suffer a concussion in the last game, but we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes as we get through the week, just with COVID and other injuries. So you'll just have to, stay on your toes like always. And
exactly, hodgepodge a team together and
why not? But it's going to be interesting because it's 2 really good semifinal matchups. I think if we're looking at first Connor P and Lindsey's matchup, I mean, Lindsey is the favorite, especially now with Connor P missing some key guys. I think she will go on to advance to the championship. That's my prediction there, just because she does have the best player in fantasy in Cooper Kupp. I think him alone is enough to carry her to the championship. And then looking at Eric and Connor Malloy's matchup, obviously a lot can change based off of COVID, and that's going to be key because I don't think at the moment the only person that Connor has that has COVID right now is Brendan Cooks. Other than that, it's just going to be a matter of who's healthy, who's available. That's going to be the biggest thing. I honestly when on paper, if both teams are fully healthy, I still give the edge to you, Eric. But if COVID, plays a role in this game, it's going to be a lot closer than I think we all expected.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, we have to talk about the NBA. I mean, it's just getting ravaged right now. Just player after player. Woj is just not even tweeting about trades. He's just tweeting about players going to health and safety protocols. I think I know over 100 players have now entered COVID protocols. It's just and games have started to be postponed and canceled just because of that. I mean, you're just seeing teams pick up just high flyers right now, just guys that were free agents and are on the hardship deal,
like a Deuce McBride,
Whoa, no. He's on the team because he deserves to be on the team, not because of any COVID or anything like that. But the real question is, should they just suspend the season and just just cut it off and spend the season for, let's say, 3 weeks or a month maybe, and just I mean,
Yeah.
Damian Lee for Washington just went into protocol. And I mean, it's just tweet after tweet. Reggie Jackson, Luka Doncic is now in health and safety protocols. So, and Trey Burks, I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. So, should the NBA season just be suspended for 3 weeks just to get a control of it, just to stop the spread of COVID in the league, or should they just continue just going through it and stuff like that?
I mean, we saw in the NHL how they've now postponed their season for a couple weeks. I think it's definitely an option for the NBA. I think in the end, a lot of it on everyone's mind, the NBA's mind, is it's the business side of things. You're going to be losing a lot of money in a lot of these games. Players are going to obviously be losing out on money, and the only thing I will say is if you keep playing and guys keep going out of the line because of COVID, it's gonna lessen the competition out there. You're gonna have teams that are highly mismatched, and it's not going to be as competitive as we all wanted to see. I'm not opposed to the NBA postponing for a couple weeks, but my only concern about doing that is I don't know if it'll necessarily make a difference. I think we are now in the winter months, and this new variant of the coronavirus it's going to be here for the near future. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, even if we were to stop the season for a few weeks. So while it's definitely an option, I don't think it's necessarily the direction the NBA should go in.
Yeah, it's just man. The if you to consider also the another side, he's out. So at what point does the product not is like just is not good? Like if these superstars are now being affected and having to go into health and safety protocols, then the product you're putting out there is just not good quality if you're signing these guys from the G League to replace these superstars that people go to watch.
Right. I mean, the thing is, obviously having some of these superstars in and out of the lineup is not great for the league in general, especially, if people are paying big money, to have these nice seats, like courtside or whatever, close up to the game, and the player you're going to see is not on the lineup. Yeah, it's not ideal. But the problem is also with postponing games, obviously there will be less a number of games completed, and it could affect the the balance of who's in and who's out of eventually the playoff picture, because every game does count. I just it's definitely a competitive issue if we keep playing. Games are going to be there's going to be mismatches, and it's not going to be as exciting basketball as when everyone's healthy. But even if we don't postpone and it gets a little better, there's still going to be guys missing, and that's just not something we're going to be able to overcome for how long, who knows when.
Yeah, it's tough because I don't think it'll stop the spread if you just suspend it for a month. I don't think it will, because we'll still be in the winter months.
Right.
But it may be a nice reset. Like it'll get everyone back and ready to go, instead of these teams, the GMs, and just the execs on these teams having to go out and look for these players very quickly to find players to sign to a hardship deal. Just to, I mean, teams are now playing only. I know the Knicks, they can only really play 8 guys, and 2 of the guys coming off the bench is a center and a forward. So it's going to take a toll on these guards, because so the teams are playing around now only 8 guys compared to sometimes up to 10 guys. So there's 2 less guys taking minutes from the starters, and so it could have a lasting effect on the quality of play if this continues on, and teams are only able to play 7 to 8 guys. I mean, it would be rough long term for these starters. I mean, with the Knicks in general, Tibbs loves to play them 40 plus minutes a night, so they're already fatigued as it is.
Right.
Now add an extra 3 minutes to their play time to get them near 45 minutes. It's concerning in that sense that it could actually have a longer term effect for the guys that aren't being affected by COVID.
I'm interested to see how this works out with the NHL, because obviously they are doing a similar thing. But yeah, I mean, it obviously you can't throw it out of the window. I think all the sports leagues want to try and avoiding postponing games as much as possible, just because obviously back in 2020, no one really knew what was going on. That's why we had to go to postpone seasons and stuff like that. But now that we have more knowledge of what's going on, I think I don't like either way. I think the NBA knows enough information now that they'll be able to make an informed decision. I think we both trust Adam Silver enough to make that right decision. And whatever happens, I'm sure it will be the best thing for the game and the fans as well. So
yeah, he's the best league commissioner of
definitely.
Of
It's not close.
It's not even close. I mean, he does not even have a contender in the ring. He's just standalone in that.
Yes.
But now let's get into the picks. I'm coming back. I'm having a successful week. I'm going 500 and above, hopefully. No longer muddling around in the 500 range. Or below 500 range. It's just hitting the 500s. Actually, I need to go 10-6 to get back to 500.
You need to go 16-0 to have a chance, Eric.
Maybe in the other record keeping and overall, I gotta get hot, and you have to get like extremely cold, which I just don't see happening. But it was fun.
Next year.
It was fun last week though. We pretty much had a full week of football, excluding Wednesday and Friday.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. And this week we have games. Obviously tonight we're recording on Thursday, as well as 2 games Christmas Day on Saturday, and then obviously Sunday as well. And who knows, we might see another game on Tuesday as well, because things are fluid in the NFL right now. So
exactly. So Thursday night tonight when we're recording, it is the 49ers going over to Tennessee to face the Titans, in which the 49ers are 3-point road favorites. How are we feeling?
Again, I continuously say it on this podcast. Obviously, I don't want the 49ers to keep winning, but they're a very good team, and I have to be honest about that. And they've looked good. With the Titans, they're just not the same team without Derrick Henry. I mean, they're 9-5. They're coming off a loss to the Steelers. Obviously, the 49ers do have to travel across the country to Tennessee, but I do think the 49ers win this game and cover the spread. I think they're more balanced on both sides of the ball, and they just have a lot more weapons to use at the moment.
I would have to agree. I do think that the 49ers will cover, so I have to go and pick the Titans to upset. Or I could – I'll just go the 49ers are not going to cover the spread. So I give myself room for error, all right? They can win by 2. I don't care. If they want to do that, that's fine. So for the holiday theme, all right, instead of asks, let's do gifts.
Okay.
Presents you would like to receive from this game.
Okay.
You get it? You kind of get it? Same thing as ask, but we're changing the terminology. For this game, I would like to see Ryan Tannehill steadily win this game off of his performance. Is Julio supposed to come back?
I don't believe so. He's been, dealing with injury issues all year. I don't think he's supposed to play. I could be wrong, but I think AJ Brown might be coming back.
I would love to see that. Actually, that's my gift. I would love Santa to send me that. To have AJ Brown come back from injury reserve, and because Tannehill's having a little rough. His receiving core is not the highest quality, I would have to say. Having AJ back would probably help. a lot.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously a nice Christmas present for me would be for the 49ers to lose, just so I mean they're 8-6 right now. Their pick isn't going to get much better. I mean, at this point, it would be a nice present to wake up Friday morning and
Saturday morning.
well, Saturday morning. Yeah. Yeah, not used to these days here, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So Saturday games now. All right. Pretty good games. The night game especially. All right. That's a good game after all your holiday activities to sit down, relax, and turn on the TV and watch it. But first, the Saturday afternoon game is the Browns are going up to Green Bay to face the Packers. Green Bay's is now the number one overall seed in the NFC. How are we feeling about that before we get to the picks?
Yeah, I mean, I think while it's not a big gap between them and I mean it's tough now with the Bucks because obviously they're dealing with injuries, but I think the Packers are clearly the best team now in the NFC. I mean, obviously they almost lost to the Ravens last week, an injured Ravens team. Their defense just did not look great, but I mean, I have all the faith in the world in Aaron Rodgers, and especially if this is his last year in Green Bay, he's going to do all he can to get to a Super Bowl. So they're definitely deserving of that top seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Green Bay is favored by 7.5 at home. For me, I'm gonna say that I believe that they will indeed cover. So I'll just say I'm gonna go that they won't. I'm going against the spread. I'm saying that they're not against the cover. They're not gonna cover. They if they want to win by a touchdown, that's fine. That's fine, man. That's fine.
I think I don't think the Browns are really a good team. Well, I don't think the Packers are just going to blow them out because I mean, based off of last week, their defense is really not as great as maybe we initially expected. I think the Packers will though cover and probably win by around 10 points.
10 points. The present I would like to receive under the Christmas tree on Saturday. If COVID kind of rampages through my team, and which like Tyreek or Eckler will be out, I would love to see Jarvis Landry have a very good performance on Christmas Day.
Okay. For me, not really much that I need from this game, not or what I want. I mean, if I were to pick a nice present from this game, I just want the Brown, obviously Baker Mayfield. We'll see what happens if he plays in this game because he is on the COVID list. But if he can, put together a solid outing and maybe pull off the upset against this Packers team, because obviously the AFC North right now is very close. So one win for the Browns and another loss by another team. They're right back in the race. So obviously the Browns were a lot of people's early season pick to make the Super Bowl. That's very, very wrong at the moment just because they have not been as expected. But yeah, it would be nice to see the Browns potentially pull off an upset. So
they're the Browns, of course. They're gonna they'll perform lower than expectations.
Yeah.
But the Saturday night game, this is a good game. Yeah. Hopefully, this is a good game from both teams' sides. I'll say this right now: my present that I would like to see is that this be an actually good game because it is the Colts heading to Arizona to face the Cardinals, who just, I mean, I wouldn't even say threw up a dud. I mean, they didn't even show up to the game. Yeah. I mean, I don't think their flight dropped them off in Detroit last week.
There's no chance they studied it all leading up to that game because they just thought they were going to be able to walk in there, have an easy win and leave because they just did not
against my Lions. Come on,
against your Lions, probably your favorite team right now based off of how the Giants have been playing. But
it's up for debate. Arizona is a point favorite. A point favorite. If they didn't lose that. If they didn't just not even show up to the game last week and get blown out by the Lions, the one-win Lions at the time, I think they would probably maybe be a 4-point to 5-point favorite. But since they just got decimated, I think the Colts are going to win this game. So I'm gonna have to go with Arizona to cover.
Oh, this is tough because it's so hard for me to see the Cardinals lose 3 straight. But I mean, the Colts are a better team. I think at this point in the season, they just look a lot more balanced. And the Cardinals have struggled, and now they won't have DeAndre Hopkins for the remainder of the regular season.
We have Zach.
Oh, this is tough because I could obviously it's in Arizona, and it's definitely a game the Cardinals could pull out, and obviously they're hungry to get back on the right track. But I got to stick with the Colts here. They are the better team, so I like them to win in this one.
What present would you like to receive?
So obviously I'm not in the playoffs anymore in the podcast league, but in another league, I do have Michael Pittman Jr. and he has been struggling the past several weeks. He got ejected from the game, which was complete BS because he didn't, in my opinion, do really anything wrong. It was sort of instigated by the Patriots, but I want a huge game from Pittman in this one. He's definitely due, and I think this game it's going to be a relatively high scoring game. I don't think the Colts defense is necessarily going to be able to stop the Cardinals, but I think that both teams will be able to put up a decent amount of points, and I hope that Michael Pittman is the recipient of those points. So.
Yeah. Going on to Sunday, the Giants are going to Philly to face the Eagles, who are now back in the playoff conversation. I mean, they look really good. Dallas Goedert looks like the top tight end in fantasy right now. But the Eagles are back in the playoff conversation. Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
I do think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that I was watching on a show on ESPN this morning. If they do win out, they have a 96% chance of making the playoffs, and their remaining schedule is very respectable. Obviously, they play the Giants this week. I mean, they play Washington next week, and then they finish off the season against the Cowboys. The Cowboys may not have anything to play for in that game if they have the division secured and they have nowhere to move among the NFC. I think all 3 of those games are very winnable. Jalen Hurts has been playing a lot better this season, and I think out of all those teams in the 7 through the 9 spots in the NFC, I think the Eagles are the best team among that bunch, and I think they do make the playoffs.
All right. Well, at home, they're 9.5-point favorites. Now, this is a divisional game. Divisional games usually get yucky and kind of get sick. So, is 9.5 a little too much, or is it just the right amount, or is it like that's too much leeway? Give me the over.
I think it's too much. I mean, the Eagles struggled with the same Giants team several weeks back. The Giants beat them 13-7. It's definitely possible that the Eagles just blow them out, but I'm not gonna say that the Eagles beat them by 10. I think it's gonna be a very close game. Probably maybe a field goal difference, maybe 4 points, but so I'll say the Eagles do not cover in this one.
I believe that the Eagles will not cover. So give me the Eagles to cover this. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to cover this with but hey, also Jake Fromm, baby, he's coming.
Jake Fromm.
If he does not start, that's absurd. Did you know? All right. Mike Glennon had, I believe, 93 passing yards through 3 quarters against Dallas. He had 9 drives total. Jake Fromm had 1 drive and totaled 82 yards of passing.
I really don't understand why Mike Glennon keeps getting chances, not only with the Giants, but in the NFL in general. He's not a good quarterback. I mean,
let's start Fromm. Come on,
why not give the younger guy a chance to potentially prove that maybe he could be the option over Daniel Jones, because I don't think Daniel Jones is the option.
So. He may be a stopgap from here on out until Tyrod gets here. I'd love to have Tyrod or Huntley from the Ravens. Huntley.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he looks like Lamar.
Yeah, and that's someone like. There's probably more. I was reading a tweet. There's probably more quarterbacks like Huntley out there. Like Huntley went undrafted. He was even cut from the Ravens practice squad several times, and then ultimately he was given the chance for that back role behind Lamar Jackson. But enough of giving 40-year-old Mike Lennon's, however old he is, more and more chances. Let's look around the league for Jake Fromm type of guys and give them chances to prove that they belong in the league.
My president, I would love to continue to see Dallas Goedert I want to see him become a top 5 tight end. That would be ecstatic to see that on as a present for me.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I just want Jalen Hurts to continue to ball out. Obviously, he is a member of some of my fantasy teams, so it'd be nice for him to come through when I need it most. So definitely, and to bounce back from the previous game he had against the Giants, that would be very nice.
The next game is the Lions are going down to Atlanta to face the Falcons. Falcons are favored by 5.5 at home. What are we doing? They just don't respect the Lions, man. They just beat the Cardinals, who were the #1 seed before going into last week. What are we doing here? Dan Campbell knows how to coach a team. Is D Swift coming back?
Yeah, so he practiced yesterday, obviously. So rest of the week of practice to see if he'll be in this game. That's my present. I hope he comes back and plays in this game and balls out. It's a nice matchup against the Falcons, but it would be nice to see the Lions win another game. But as much as I don't think the Falcons are a good team at all, the Lions might not have their starting quarterback because Jared Goff is dealing with COVID right now. They may not have Swift at all either. So I'll take the Falcons to cover the 5.5 spread in this one.
I think that the Falcons will cover, so just give me not to cover. I always go with my line.
Going against your, yeah, I know, but technically you don't think the Lions are going to win, I guess then.
Yeah, but come on. For the spread, when I do the pick'ems on Instagram, I always pick the Lions. No, I don't. I need to win once, then I'll start picking the Lions. The next game is a huge. Is it the game of the week?
Well, you got Bills Patriots too.
Yeah, okay. So this is like the afternoon. Oh my god, both of these are 1:00 games. What is the NFL doing? Flex a little. Come on.
No, I think I mean they definitely got the Monday night game right. That was spot on their part. I don't think that could be moved, but yeah, I would have liked to see something other than Washington and Dallas on Sunday night. I don't think that's going to be necessarily a great game, but
yeah, I want to move it to the 4:00 games. Damn,
yeah,
but
it's interesting that they have both of them in the 1:00 slate. That's very interesting.
I mean, they're both on CBS.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Romo Nance crew has the Bills Patriots game. I would assume they usually.
Which game do you think is going to be nationally televised and not regional?
I would assume the Bills Patriots game.
I would too. I would too. But before we get to that, we're talking about the Ravens versus Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3. What are you doing? What are we doing with this?
So last time these two teams faced off, the Bengals came out from under and beat the Ravens in an upset, and I got obviously nailed that pick, and Connor P never heard the end of that one, but you know what? I'm gonna say that the Ravens pull off the upset in this one. This is my upset pick of the week.
Wow.
Even if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, I think Tyler Huntley is just as good, if potentially not good enough to beat this Bengals team. I think the Ravens are out for revenge, and obviously they have every possible injury on their whole team. But if there's a game that the Ravens want to win, especially after losing a heartbreaker to the Packers last week, they lost to the Steelers several weeks back. They lost to the Browns. The Ravens need a win, and if they want to have a chance at the playoffs, this is a game they have to win. So give me the Ravens in an upset here.
I think the Bengals will not cover. So give me let me see those Bengals cover. My present I would like to receive is Lamar. Come on. I mean, the league I have you in, I'm out. I'm in the consolation, but I like to get at least 4th place in that league. So please show out what do you have a present?
I want to see Tyler Huntley play again and ball out, because I honestly believe that he might be a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's more of a quarterback anyways, because he was actually throwing the ball in the general area of his receivers. But him and Mark Andrews, by the way, have a nice connection. So I want to see more of that.
The next game is Rams going to Minnesota to face the Vikings. Rams are 3-point road favorites. I believe that the Rams, this is very odd. I feel this is very, very low. So low. I don't know what Vegas sees that the general public doesn't see. I think the Rams will cover. So give I guess I'll use my upset pick of the week on the Vikings here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, the spread's so low, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Vegas thinks that there's upset potential here.
I don't really see it. It's weird. I don't know why
I
the
know.
spread is so low here. I mean, obviously the Rams were dealing with COVID issues, but a lot of those guys have returned to the field. I think the Rams will win this game easily by 2 touchdowns potentially. I think we're looking at also a Rams Packers NFC Championship game at the moment. So
I would enjoy that very much. I would love to see that. My president I would like to see is Justin Jefferson. Oh man, he's getting hot.
he is.
He's a late bloomer in the fantasy season. So keep blooming, my man. Keep blooming.
My present that I would like to receive in this game is I want Sony Michelle to continue to receive the bulk of the work in this Rams backfield. I think Daryl Henderson, while he's a good player, I think Sony Michelle adds a different dimension, and I think he's rightfully warranted a bigger role in this Rams offense.
Now on to the actual game of the week. Even though it's not considered the game of the week for some reason, Bills are going to New England to look for revenge against the Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point home favorites. I think that the Bills will win this game. I think it is going to make the AFC East very interesting. Even if the Dolphins win on Monday night, they're only a game back. So I think the Bills win. So give me New England to cover.
I mean, for the Dolphins' sake, it's better for the Bills to win this game because potentially if the Patriots and Dolphins are tied going into week 18, the Dolphins and Patriots could face off. And the Dolphins, if they win that game, they would have the tiebreaker over the Patriots. Potentially, the Patriots could get knocked out of the playoffs. Highly, obviously, unlikely at this point in the season. As much as it pains me to say this, I do think though the Patriots are going to win this game. I don't think they lose back-to-back games. I mean, after Mac Jones got off to a horrendous start early on in that Colts game, he kind of figured things out as the game went on. I think they're hungry for winning this one, and they want to show that the AFC East is theirs once again. Unfortunately,
my present I would like to see is will the Bills to win. I love to see this go down the home stretch with 2 weeks left. If the Bills win, then it gets tight. This is where pressure makes diamonds, and let's see who's a diamond out of that division.
I want that same present too, so I want you to send that same one over to me because I would really appreciate that as well.
All right. Now the toilet bowl game of the week. The Jags are facing off against the Jets at MetLife. The line is even. This is a pick-me game.
Okay.
Both teams are so bad. Vegas doesn't have a clue who's going to win this game.
This actually has some implications though with the draft order. So this does mean something for someone out there.
See, this is tough for my strategy. I mean, I guess I'll go with who I think is going to win. I think the Jaguars are going to win. So give me the Jets to win.
I think the Jaguars are going to win. I think that they find a way to finally get that first win since Urban Meyer, has been fired. I mean, I think both teams are, they're not good at all, obviously, but give me the Jaguars to win this game.
All right, my ask. I love. Oh, this is a rookie face-off here.
Yes,
I'd like to see them.
The top 2 picks.
Yeah, I like to see that. I like to see them show out.
Yeah, and they end up probably being the worst 2 quarterbacks in this class, looking at the moment, anyways. But
Trey Lance is going to be the best.
I guess so. Well, it's yet to see.
He hasn't shown that he's bad.
That's true.
He hasn't shown he's like good yet, but he hasn't shown he's bad.
That's true. Very true.
The next game is the Bucks, who got surprisingly upset by the Saints last week, going to Carolina to face the Panthers. Bucks are 10-point road favorites, and this is a divisional game to add on top of that. Vegas thinks the Bucks are coming out to beat the shit out of the Panthers.
I think they will. I think they still have enough weapons to get the job done. Obviously, losing Chris Godwin it's a big loss for sure. Mike Evans might not go in this game, but Antonio Brown is back amid all the scandalous stuff he has been involved in over the past several months. But he is expected to be back, as well as Ronald Jones will be assuming the RB1 role now in Tampa. But I think
let's not discount Le'Veon Bell here.
Le'Veon Bell as well. Yeah, that's right. They're they got the two of the Pittsburgh Steelers back together, reunited in Tampa Bay. So we'll see how that goes. See if there's any drama. But I think the Panthers aren't good. I think the Buccaneers have a good enough defense to prevent Cam Newton from scoring any points, and they're going to force some turnovers as well. And I think Tom Brady wants to win this game badly. So you know what that means.
I do think the Bucks will cover. So give me them not covering this game. My present I would like to see is Tom Brady have a 4 TD game, because I would consider Aaron Rodgers the front runner for the MVP. But if you have a really good game this week, I think I would consider you to go back ahead.
See, I don't. This might be the year where a quarterback doesn't win the MVP because
Jonathan.
Yeah, because a quarter, like, obviously it's the quarterback's award, but there haven't. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers has been great. Tom Brady has been great for the most part as well, but they haven't had like MVP type performances, in my opinion. And Jonathan Taylor is breaking records. His numbers are comparable to Adrian Peterson's MVP season way back when. We'll see how the last couple of weeks of the season goes, but I think Jonathan Taylor definitely deserves some more recognition for the MVP race.
Absolutely.
Even someone like Cooper Kupp, obviously it's going to be even harder for a wide receiver to win, but
I mean, his is insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
But
the next game is the Chargers going to Texas to face the Texans. Chargers are also Chargers will cover, so give them that cover.
For me, obviously, even if someone like Austin Eckler doesn't play in this game, I think they have a good enough team around them to be able to cover in this game. The Texans have played a lot better since Davis Mills took over for whoever, Tyrod Taylor, whatever he was doing out there. So that was the right decision there. But
whatever he was doing, come on now.
However, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though if the Chargers did not cover in this game, just because they have been inconsistent at times. And the Texans defense hasn't been that bad at all this year, but I still think the Chargers will be able to cover in this game.
All right. My present. I would like to see Eckler play, please. And I would like to see that Herbert Eckler connection.
I need Eckler to play just as bad as you. I have him in 3 of my leagues, and all 3 of those leagues I am in the semifinals. So I would really appreciate if he played. Obviously, health is important, but want him to play too.
The Bears are going to the Seahawks, in which the Seahawks have their first ever losing season with Russell Wilson at the helm. That's crazy. I think he's been there for 10 years. So that's crazy to hear. But Seahawks are favored by 6.5 at home. I think that the Seahawks will not cover. They may win. They're not going to cover. So give me them to cover.
Yeah, I picked the Bears to win last week. I don't think I'm ever picking the Bears again to win. Just like Eric, it's just not worth my time. I was feeling good about a potential upset, but that obviously did not work out. I think though the Seahawks do cover in this game. The Bears just are struggling on offense, and they're missing a good amount of people in their secondary. I think obviously Russell Wilson did not look great against the Rams. He underthrew a couple balls to DK Metcalf. I think with Tyler Lockett hopefully coming back, what a player, by the way, that guy is. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. I think that the Seahawks cover and win this game.
All right. My present. It's a late present. I like to see Russell Wilson on the Giants this offseason.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see Russell Wilson somewhere else too. I don't for some reason he's saying that the Giants are a spot he's looking at, but I don't know why. I mean,
Come on.
honestly though that would be good for someone like Kenny Galladay, honestly, because he
It
needs.
would. And
Yeah,
Tooney?
yeah, true.
Oh,
And
yes.
obviously Saquon as well, if
Oh
he's
my
still
God.
there, obviously. But
Yeah. Maybe we have to trade. I wouldn't mind trading Saquon for Russell. I'll
I
give
mean,
that up
we've
and some
seen, yeah,
picks.
we've seen similar trades in the NFL, but I think my present in this game, I would love for Tyler Lockett obviously to play. Obviously, he missed this last game because of COVID. It helped my chances a lot in my one of my fantasy leagues. So
Next game is Steelers going to the Chiefs. Chiefs are 7.5-point favorites. The Steelers are kind of playing well.
yeah,
They're kind of playing well. I do though think the Chiefs are hot right now. They reclaimed the number 1 seed in the AFC. So I think the Chiefs will cover. So I'm saying that they are just going to win by a touchdown.
yeah, I think the Chiefs don't have a problem covering in this game. Their defense, after all the criticism they get for their defense not being able to perform on a week to week basis, has been great. Obviously, they did not show out last week against the Chargers, but I think the Chiefs are going to run the table the rest of the way. I think they're going to finish 13-4, grab that number 1 seed, and once again be the team to beat in the AFC.
My present, I would like to see TJ Watt have like 2 sacks in this game because I think he's at 17. I would love to see him hit that 20 mark, get close to Michael Strahan's sack record, single season sack record. Maybe flirt with it a little. So that's my present. That would be really cool to see. And if he has like 3 sacks here and he's at 20 with 2 more weeks to go, he should be like top 5 in MVP.
Definitely. I think for me, a president I would like to see if Tyreek Hill goes in this game, him and Deontay Johnson going back and forth, producing on each drive, and both having huge days in this one. I think it's very possible, and I think it'd be very nice to see them go back and forth, maybe a touchdown or two, and big games for both of them.
Does Michael Strahan still hold the single season sack record, or is it Aaron Donald?
It might be Aaron Donald. I could double check.
Because I know Strahan had it.
You did have it. Let's see. It is. No, it's still Michael Strahan with 22 and a half.
I knew it was 22 and I knew Michael Strahan's was 22 and a half.
Yeah.
I feel like Aaron Donald was very close to that a few years ago.
He was let's see here. Aaron Donald was at 20 and a half in 2018.
Yes. All right. Yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That would be my ask. TJ Watt, keep going off. Keep getting those strip sacks too. Next game is Broncos at Raiders. This line's even too. Both teams are 7-7, trying to fight for a playoff spot here. They're not out of it yet. The Broncos keep winning. I mean, they keep surviving. And the Raiders had a big win in Cleveland. Give me, I think the Ravens will win, so give me the Broncos to win.
I think the Broncos will win. I think with their defense, I just think they will be able to pull out a victory in this one. It'll be a very low scoring game. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater won't be starting this game, but I think Drew Lock will have a very nice game and maybe start getting those weapons utilized a little bit more often. So
Hunter, my present, Hunter Renfro, please. That's it. Just do your thing, kid. Just do your get those receptions. Get those 10 receptions for 63 yards and a TD.
I wanna see another big game from Javonte Williams. I think he's rightfully warranted to be a very early round draft pick next year in fantasy leagues. I think especially in dynasty leagues, he's a very good player. And once Melvin Gordon leaves Denver, Javonte Williams will definitely be the guy. So
Sunday Night Football, NFC East matchup. Washington just got upsetted by the Eagles, and they go down to Dallas to face the Cowboys, who I believe if they win this game, they clinch the division.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Taylor Heineke just cleared the COVID protocol, so
That
he
changes the whole
he
landscape.
should be back in this game. Well, 10.5 spreads a lot for a Cowboys team that has not looked great as of late. I'm gonna say that the Cowboys win this game, but do not cover. Taylor Heineke gives Dak Prescott a run for his money.
Oh, of course he does. Now that I know Heineke
Are you gonna go 4 weeks in a row picking Washington
to win not this game, no. But maybe maybe to break the cover. With Heineke in the game now, 10.5. I think Dallas will not cover, so give me to cover.
Okay.
My present is Heineke. Heineke, come back, baby. Let's show everyone what they've been missing.
My present in this one, I'm going up against Dak Prescott in a lot of leagues, so obviously I don't want him to have a good game. So obviously I still want the Cowboys. I think they're still going to win regardless of how Dak plays, just because of how good that defense has been. But I want Dak to not have a great game.
All right. Monday night.
Game of the week right here.
Questionable maybe for just Dolphins fans. Dolphins are going to New Orleans to face the Saints, who just pulled an upset in Tampa Bay. Let's see if they beat the other Florida team now. New Orleans is favored by 3 at home in the Superdome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough place to play, man.
It's a tough place to play. It's been a while since we've had a Monday Night Football game, and it's it's good to be back on primetime television to showcase how good of a passer that Tua Tagovailoa really is.
Time out.
What?
Last week I picked him up as a streaming option.
Yeah.
For my other fantasy league. He's projected 20 points. He drops 13 with 2 interceptions against the Jets, man.
Those 2 interceptions were not great decisions on his part, but we have to look at some positives. He had some absolute dimes to Devontae Parker, threw it in the bucket a couple times, and a lot of those throws go unnoticed because a lot of us tend to focus on the negatives, and obviously those interceptions were not great throws, but Tua Tagovailoa still leads the NFL in completion percentage, and he is becoming one of the more accurate passers. And by the way, in the last 6 games, there have only been 2 quarterbacks to win all of those games: Patrick Mahomes and Tua Tagovailoa. Both teams are hot right now, and both quarterbacks are leading the way for these teams.
All right. How about we say your defense is hot right now? Let's say
defense is hot, but we have to give credit where credit's due. And Tua's getting the job done. He trucked someone on the Jets. I don't see Daniel Jones doing that.
Whoa!
I don't see more than half of the
quarterbacks. He jukes them out, breaks some ankles.
I don't see more than half of the quarterbacks willing to do that in the NFL. Tua's the guy here. We don't need Deshaun Watson. We don't need Aaron Rodgers. I'm totally fine with Tua Tagovailoa as long as we get to keep our draft capital. By the way, talking about this game, I do think the Dolphins will win this game. We do need to win out to have a chance at the playoffs. I'm hoping when I go to the Dolphins Patriots game week 18, that'll be a playoff clinching scenario, which will be fun to see. But I think obviously Tua has been good, but yeah, the defense has been hot as well ever since whatever that was early on in the season. I have no idea what was going on, but I think Taysom Hill is very turnover prone. I think the Dolphins force him to make some turnovers, and I think we go into New Orleans and pick up a win.
I think that the Dolphins will win, so give me New Orleans to cover.
Awesome.
Awesome. So that was I
need a gift.
You need a big gift here.
Yeah, obviously a win is the biggest gift, but obviously I know what your gift is most likely going to be. So I'm going to say that I want Duke Johnson Jr. to continue to be involved in this one.
What happened to the free Gaskin train?
I mean, apparently Gaskin. I love Gaskin and everything, but Duke Johnson's it's a better story. He has been totally underutilized his whole career, and he's finally getting the opportunity. And he had 20 plus carries, and obviously it was against the Jets, so that's takes off a little bit of the shine off of that one. But I want Duke Johnson to continue to be involved, and he's a Miami kid, and I want him to continue to produce him. So.
Obviously, my present is Jalen Waddle. Return, my man. COVID put you on the bench. get off the bench, become Tua's top target, in which that's why Tua succeeds because of Jalen Waddle. I would love to see targets go Waddle's way in this matchup. But that was our picks, and those were our gifts, guys. We hope you enjoyed episode 34 of the It's Game Time podcast, the Walter Payton episode. Jay, you got anything else to say?
No, happy holidays to everyone out there. We hope you enjoyed not only time with your family and friends, but enjoy this, upcoming slate of a lot of football can be on, and obviously a lot of big games on the way. So hopefully everyone enjoys all of this the next couple of days.
All right, peace out, y'all.